HSBC downgraded their Anheuser-Busch stock over Bud Light sales, being in a little bit of a free fall right now.
Yeah.
HSBC has officially downgraded the stock to a hold amid growing concerns that backlash against the company's partnership with Dylan Mulvaney continues to hamper sales.
Well, shoot. I guess you should have thought this one through, huh? Look at that freak.
Carlos Laboy, a managing director with the bank's global beverage sector, admitted in a note written on Wednesday morning that Anheuser-Busch is currently in the midst of dealing with a Bud Light crisis and that there are deeper problems than ABI admits. Interesting.
Yeah, well, it's not just them that's got the problem. Dylan Mulvaney is a little stressed out, too.
Oh, no. Yeah. Dylan is stressed?
Yeah. He's been through a lot lately.
I hate to see that.
Don't you, though?
I really do.
Can we get that picture off the screen now? I can't take it.
Haters really wore me down for a second, Mulvaney told Chelsea Handler. Oh, that's the show you want to go on, is Chelsea Handler's show.
She's good.
Because, man, is she brilliant.
I didn't know, and this is true, I didn't know until I was 40 years old that the sun and the moon were not the same thing.
And by the way, that was 8 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages.
8 years ago she learned that.
8 years ago she learned the sun and the moon were not the same thing. But go on her show by all means, because she's brilliant. But what Dylan said was, that's what I think a lot of these haters don't realize, is that the mental effects of misgendering in the media, it breaks my heart.
You sailed way past Mentalville, Dylan, before you got to us stressing you out, bro.
Because there are people calling me a man, and I don't, right now, I feel like I'm not even processing any of it. Well, then it shouldn't be a problem if you're not processing it. Right?
Right.
Isn't it only a problem if you've processed it?
Yeah.
The constant battering could have seriously damaged effects, Mulvaney said.
Oh, my gosh.
Conservative backlash to the content creators' partnership with Anheuser-Busch was fast and furious, with many on the right calling for a boycott of the beverage brand. Last month, during the week ranging from April 17th to April 22nd, Bud Light sales fell 26.1% from what they were a year ago.
Ooh, I love it.
26%.
Isn't that something? I think
that's a lot.
You can untuck it because the 15 minutes is gone. I think they're up, bro. Yeah, I love this graph, Pat. You got to show us this graph here. The correlation between mental hospitals.
Americans held in mental hospitals and prisons per 100,000 adults. Interesting. So if we go back to 1934, there's your graph. Okay. So the mental hospital population has, bottomed out. Look at that. It went from a high of, 600 per 100,000, a little bit over that, to almost nothing in 2001, whereas the prison population went the opposite direction.
Look at that. Nah, they're not related.
No, I'm sure not.
Nothing
That's
there.
Just an amazing coincidence.
Yeah, you remember that guy that we had in Indiana, that city councilman?
Yeah.
Who
identified
as a woman, like a minority lesbian woman.
Oh, yeah. Didn't Matt interview him?
Matt Walsh sat down with him for 2 minutes of the most hilarious thing here.
And we'll play that in just a minute here. Remember that city councilman in Muncie, Indiana, who says he now identifies as a woman of color and a lesbian? And he was trolling the left, of course, with their own stupidity. Well, he sat down with Matt Walsh over the weekend, and here's what happened.
The reason why I identify as the woman of color is because I have a Cherokee bloodline, Native American on both sides. My great-grandmother on my father's side was a full-blooded Cherokee Native American. And recently, we had done an ancestry DNA test, and that helped me recognize that it's my fourth or fifth great-grandfather, I can't remember which one it is, but he's actually chief walking stick of the Cherokee Nation in North Carolina. So being as that I had Cherokee on both sides, I thought, you know what, this is awesome, and that allows me to classify myself as the woman of color that I am. What makes me the lesbian is the fact that I am still madly in love with my wife, and that'll never change. I'm still attracted to her as a woman.
Navigating her new identity as a lesbian woman of color came natural to the councilwoman as well. What was the process of understanding the transracial identity in particular?
You'd have to recognize that being a lesbian woman of color does, affect 3 different protected groups and classes. Now, because of that, I have come out and been recognized as the first woman of color in the history of Delaware County Council. Now, I don't believe that they're going to give me any awards for that, but it's possible they may name some local park after me or something. We'll see what the future holds.
What's really brave about you is that you came out as a trans woman of color, and yet you have changed nothing about yourself physically. So you're just literally the exact same person, but at the same time, you're a woman of color.
I did take the step of changing my name. I used to go by Ryan, which would be Ryan, the male version, but now I'm using the name Ryan, but it's the female version.
Same spelling.
Same spelling.
When you're out in front of an issue like this, there are always going to be people that doubt. What's your response to them?
Well, I would say I've heard that. And to that, I would say it was just a few short years ago that they said that you couldn't identify, a man couldn't identify as a woman without taking the steps necessary to do so. And that's no longer true. I mean, I'm living proof of it.
That's how you do it.
That's brilliant.
That's how you do it. I would like to point out Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. Rule number 5. Ridicule is man's most potent weapon. It's hard to counterattack ridicule, and it infuriates the opposition, which then reacts to your advantage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
So well done.
Nicely done by Matt and the councilwoman as well. She was great.
She was.
She was really good.
She was, and she's
very
beautiful
logical
too.
Oh man, so beautiful.
As far as
now.
councilwomen go.
Yeah. Well, probably the most beautiful councilwoman I've ever beheld. So
and you
that's
don't
great.
get a lot of women named Ryan.
No, you don't.
But now you got one.
And I thought maybe the spelling would change, but no, not even the spelling changed.
I love that. So good. Yeah.
Just both deadpan as can be. It's awesome.